Imagine December 28, 1908. A morning that was supposed to be just another New Year's Eve in southern Europe turns into an apocalypse. But the Strait of Messina splits all the way down to the mantle, the sea boils, and a 500-meter wall of steam and plasma engulfs southern Europe. Imagine how this apocalypse forces bitter enemies to put World War I aside and unite to save the planet. They build the Geo-Wedge, a gigantic 3-kilometer-long dam fortress right above the searing chasm. Imagine a world where instead of oil and war, powerful geothermal Dieselpunk reigns, and the harnessed energy of the Earth's depths forever changes the course of human history. December 28, 1908. A sudden subterranean cataclysm in the Strait of Messina shakes southern Europe. An epicentral shock ruptures the granite crust, opening direct access to the upper mantle. Instead of a normal earthquake, a colossal plasma magmatic breach erupts from the rift in the basin. The boiling sea forms a 500-meter wall of steam and glowing ash over Sicily. A hydrodynamic explosion ruptures the tectonic seam between the African and Eurasian plates. A gigantic underwater canyon forms, rapidly expanding deep into the continental shelf. A colossal seismic wave destroys coastal cities across Italy, Malta, and North Africa. Sea depths swallow millions of tons of water, preparing a devastating reverse tsunami. Telegraph lines between Europe and the Mediterranean are severed simultaneously. Astronomical observatories record anomalous fluctuations in Earth's magnetic field. A state of wartime emergency is declared in Rome, Paris, and London. A geological catastrophe begins that will change the map of Europe forever. An 80-meter megatsunami inundates the coast from Naples to Alexandria. Mediterranean ports and naval bases are reduced to mud-strewn ruins. The Kingdom of Italy loses control over its southern provinces within hours. Basaltic lava begins to continuously pour from the rift in the Strait of Messina. A new volcanic ridge forms, rapidly rising from the seabed. Sicily completely breaks away from the Apennine Peninsula, shifting eastward. Hot volcanic gases poison the atmosphere over southern Europe. Acidic clouds of sulfur and ash obscure the sun over the region for months. Water temperature in the Mediterranean Sea rises to 50 degrees Celsius. The marine ecosystem suffers instant collapse, causing a total die-off of fish. Shipping through the Suez Canal halts due to dropping water levels and steaming fog. Global trade suffers a devastating blow, plunging into a deep economic crisis. 1910. The governments of the British, German, and Russian empires established the Geo Committee. The world's leading physicists and engineers gather in Berlin to develop Project Geo-Wedge. The goal of the project is to stabilize the tectonic rift by constructing subterranean thermal dams. The largest mobilization of industrial resources in human history begins. Krupp factories retool to forge super-heavy titanium steel caissons. Britain dispatches a fleet of steam dredges and cranes to the shores of Calabria. The Russian Empire mobilizes hundreds of thousands of workers to build trunk railways. The laying of the first deep-water reinforced concrete piers begins in the strait. Construction sites operate around the clock under arc spotlights. Workers toil in heavy heat-protective suits with forced oxygen supply. Hot steam and periodic lava eruptions claim the lives of thousands of builders. Despite colossal losses, the first steel blocks sink into the glowing abyss. 1914, World War I is cancelled due to the necessity of civilization's survival. Yesterday's military rivals sign an indefinite armistice and an alliance pact. All military budgets are redirected to fund the construction of the Geo-Wedge. A gigantic reinforced concrete citadel dam rises at the site of the Strait of Messina. The width of the concrete monolith reaches 3 kilometers with a height of 200 meters. The world's largest geothermal steam turbines are embedded inside the structure. Energy from the glowing mantle is converted into millions of kilowatts of cheap electricity. Southern Europe receives an inexhaustible source of steam diesel power. A new industrial fortress city, Vulcania, grows around the Messina Dam. High-pressure steam pipelines branch out from the dam across the entire continent. Railway trestles connect mainland Italy with drifting Sicily. Humanity tames the tectonic element, turning a catastrophe into an energy breakthrough. 1920, the era of geothermal dieselpunk and steam engineering begins. Coal mines close, making way for deep geothermal wells. European cities are covered by a network of steam heating mains and electric roadways. Vehicles powered by geothermal condensate replace gasoline transport. Aviation develops toward heavy armored zeppelins with steam turbines. Sicily transforms into the planet's primary scientific and energy base. However, subterranean pressure beneath the dam continues to build relentlessly. Geological sensors record the accumulation of mantle gases beneath the concrete foundation. Scientists warn of the risk of a secondary cascade rupture of the tectonic plate. A 24-hour seismic monitoring and pressure relief service is created. Special dam valves regularly release columns of superheated steam into the atmosphere. The rumble of the Messina lock becomes a constant background sound for the entire Mediterranean. 1928. A sudden shift of the African plate triggers a subterranean hydrodynamic shock. One of the central sectors of the Geo-Wedge develops a deep longitudinal crack. Superheated steam at a pressure of 1,000 atmospheres breaks through the valve system. A man-made eruption covers Vulcania in a cloud of incandescent silica dust. Military engineering corps initiate an emergency stabilization operation. Millions of tons of liquid pig iron and basalt slag are injected into the crack under pressure. Steam-armored cars and repair cranes work directly in the lava leak zone. Engineers risk their lives closing emergency turbine hall valves. Thanks to superhuman efforts, the breach is localized within 48 hours. The crack is sealed with a solid, high-strength steel and concrete belt. The catastrophe proves the necessity of continuously expanding the protective complex. The Geo-Wedge transforms into an eternal monument to humanity's fight against the planet's depths. 1935. The project expands into a global network of tectonic compensators. Similar geothermal locks begin construction at the San Andreas and Iceland rifts. The global economy becomes fully integrated around servicing the tectonic shield. Scientists develop deep-sea subterranean scanning technology. The first seismic computing machines made of brass gears and steam are created. Automated analyzers predict subterranean shocks weeks in advance. Southern Europe becomes the wealthiest and most developed region in the world. The architecture of Vulcania impresses with the brutal majesty of concrete domes and towers. Millions of tourists arrive to see the glowing geothermal torches of Messina. All international conflicts are resolved at meetings of the Tectonic Council. Peace and stability are secured by mutual reliance on the energy of the rift. However, geophysical processes in the depths are preparing a new trial. 1942. a deep magmatic plume pierces a new channel parallel to the dam. An underwater volcano forms, threatening to sever the foundation of the Geo-Wedge. Engineers decide to conduct a subterranean detonation of a thermobaric charge. The goal is to redirect the lava flow into a deep underwater canyon away from the supports. Super-heavy drilling rigs sink an inclined shaft to a depth of 5 kilometers. The charge is loaded into a specialized sealed capsule with water cooling. The operation is supervised by top demolition experts and seismologists from 3 continents. On August 12th, a controlled subterranean directional explosion takes place. The seismic wave artificially discharges tension in the tectonic seam. The lava flow changes direction, filling an empty ocean trench. The dam is saved, and its foundation is reinforced by a solidified basaltic monolith. Operation Depths 1942 enters geoengineering textbooks as an absolute triumph. 1950. The Geo-Wedge celebrates 40 years of continuous and successful operation. During this time, the complex has generated more energy than all the world's coal mines combined. Sicily has completely fused with the dam, forming a new solid isthmus. The Strait of Messina vanishes permanently from world maps. In its place stands the Messina Energy Bridge, the continent's primary artery. The ecology of the Mediterranean is fully restored and stabilized. An artificial microclimate around the dam fosters flourishing subtropical agriculture. Air and rail transport function with clockwork precision. Humanity is fully convinced of its ability to command planetary forces. The World Institute of Geodynamic Control is established. Scientists begin designing projects to harness the energy of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The era of tectonic fear gives way to an era of planetary construction. 1960. A large-scale modernization of the dam's first turbine halls begins. Outdated cast-iron rotors are replaced with new titanium ceramic generators. The capacity of the Messina geothermal power station increases 5-fold. Automated steam computers monitor every square meter of the dam. Operating staff transition to round-the-clock duty in fortified bunkers. Vulcania transforms into a scientific metropolis with a population of 2 million. Multi-tiered residential complexes with geothermal heating are built in the city. Public transport operates exclusively on quiet steam and electric motors. Air pollution levels in the region approach absolute zero. The Geo-Wedge becomes a benchmark for future generations of engineers. The planet rests safely under the protection of a global network of tectonic locks. The alternative timeline of the 20th century demonstrates the victory of reason over chaos. 1975, the International Museum of the Messina Tectonic Breach opens. In the main hall, a fragment of the first drill bit from 1909 is displayed. Panoramic windows offer a view of the majestic reinforced concrete cascades of the dam. Millions of visitors honor the memory of the first pioneers every year. The exhibition meticulously recreates the chronology from catastrophe to triumph. Multimedia dioramas demonstrate the real-time operation of subterranean steam turbines. School children worldwide study the project's history as an example of global unity. All records of the first accidents and breaches are declassified for public access. Scientists continue refining safety and forecasting systems. The Geo-Wedge has operated without a single failure for over 6 decades. Energy from the depths continues to power cities, factories, and transit arteries. Civilization confidently strides into the new millennium without the threat of natural disasters. 1990, the first thermonuclear geothermal fusion facility launches at the Messina complex. Combining mantle and nuclear energy unlocks inexhaustible possibilities for humanity. The first spacecraft powered by geothermal synthetic fuel are created. The Geo-Wedge becomes a launchpad for deep space exploration. The planet's last environmentally harmful industries are permanently shut down. Earth's biosphere fully restores its natural balance and diversity. People live in harmony with nature, utilizing clean technologies. The Messina Dam is viewed not as a protective barrier, but as a symbol of wisdom. All nations of the world reaffirm the eternal validity of the tectonic pact. The history of the 1908 cataclysm became a turning point in human civilization. Instead of destruction and war, humanity chose the path of collective creation. The lesson of the Great Messina Blast has been learned forever. 2008. The world solemnly marks the centenary of the Messina tectonic breach. A new bronze monument to the unity of nations opens on the crest of the dam. 50-meter steles symbolize the nations that participated in the construction. All turbines of the Geo-Wedge operate at maximum capacity, glowing with light. A live broadcast of the anniversary reaches billions of viewers across the planet. Scientists confirm the rift in the Strait of Messina is completely fused and stable. The tectonic plate has knit together, forming the strongest section of the Earth's crust. The Geo-Wedge has fulfilled its historic mission in full. Now the complex operates as a gigantic clean power plant for all of Europe. Descendants gratefully recall the heroism of the engineers and workers of 1908. The parasitic fear of catastrophes has vanished from human consciousness forever. Planet Earth has become a reliable and secure home for humanity. Humanity has finally overcome the threat of a geological split of the continent. Project Geo-Wedge stands as the pinnacle of 20th century engineering thought. An alternative path of development proved the superiority of science and cooperation over destruction. Steam Dieselpunk created a resilient and harmonious technological civilization. The Mediterranean Sea has once again become the center of global trade and culture. Cities along its shores flourish under the shield of geothermal energy. The Messina experience is utilized to safeguard the planet from any external threats. Every citizen takes pride in belonging to a civilization of creators. The history of Project Geo-Wedge is enshrined in the Golden Repository of World Heritage. The lesson of 1908 proved human intellect can master the most powerful forces of nature. The world of the future is built on a solid and unshakable foundation. We close this project file with a sense of fulfilled duty to future generations. You have watched the full chronology of Project Geo-Wedge 1908 by Alternative Outline 20th. This declassified file serves as a reminder of the immense power of human spirit and science. In upcoming episodes, we will uncover the secrets of other classified 20th century files. We will show alternative timelines where technological progress took a different path. Subscribe to Alternative Outline 20th so you don't miss new episodes. Click the bell icon and select notifications for all new videos. Leave your thoughts, theories, and impressions in the comments below this video. We read every response and consider your suggestions for future episodes. Share this video with anyone interested in alternate history and Dieselpunk. Thank you for watching and supporting our channel. See you in the next declassified alternative outline file. Until next time in the parallel worlds of the 20th century.